Da 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 da. How you doing? I'm John Johnson. This is the House of Horrors. Kind of a little documentary or documentation of going through the making of the film in my studies. So that's kind of what the general questions and things are about. House of Horrors is a monster mashup using all the famous monsters. That's Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, but not quite the Creature from the Black Lagoon because he's the only one that's copywritten. But yeah, eventually I'll be making this movie, and we've been doing this for about a year and a half of going through each monster and doing a really full study on them. Then we'll get into versus films and mashups. We've done Frankenstein's monster, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, Hyde. There was another one. Is that it?
That was it.
That's it.
Yeah.
We are on our fourth monster. We are now doing the Wolfman. Not werewolves. This is specifically Wolfman. House of Horrors on Facebook. You can go check that out. You can see the order of all the films and everything that I've been watching. We've done our 10 films, and now we're into additionals, which are 21 items. We're talking about the first 8 on my list today. And so now here's everyone else. You know and love her. This is Alyssa and her black pussy.
Big Ethel.
Big Ethel. She is the one who handles and fields all your questions for me and all the nude pictures that you send. Thank you. I have a guest today. This is Donnie Sturges. For those that know some of our other films, he was Poe in the Lovecraft Chronicles Volume 1 and soon to be Volume 2. So yeah, I guess we'll do a couple questions to start off with, and then we'll go through the list.
Okay, we're going to start off with Kenneth Tabor.
Kenneth Tabor! Welcome, Kenneth, to 2016. We're going to be doing this all year because it took me a year and a half to get through 4 monsters. I'm going to try to get a little better at this, but there's still like 3 more, and then verses, and then oh my god. Okay, so we're doing this for a while. Kenneth, you can just get a cot. You can live back here.
Okay, he says the Wolfman has such great regeneration and healing abilities. Would that make him immune to vampirism and zombie disease, etc.?
It's interesting. There's been like a bunch of sayings about both, like where a werewolf bite can kill a vampire and a vampire bite can kill a werewolf, like just like poison. Zombie bite, I don't know. I'm the closest thing that I have seen is there's a series called Lichen Fallout, which takes place. There's a zombie Fallout, which is the first set of books, and then 400 years later is a book series that follows a bunch of werewolves that they decide, well, humankind fucked up the world, zombies took over, they defeated the zombies, but now the werewolves are going to take it over. And they just kind of relaunched this is a spoiler alert, they relaunched the zombies back into the world to fight the werewolves. And I don't know what's going to happen next, but that might answer that question because I don't think it's ever been dealt with other than the bites hurt each other.
You know, there's an episode of The Real Ghostbusters where the 4 Ghostbusters get in the middle of a war, like a Hatfields versus McCoys kind of situation between vampires and werewolves.
Oh.
I forget which season it was in, but it's kind of one of the sillier episodes, but it was actually kind of fun at the same time because it kind of addresses that question. Because the Ghostbusters come in and they're trying to broker a peace between the 2 factions, and it goes awry, and so they just start attacking each other. And you have like wolves biting vampires and vice versa. And so like I think at one point you see a werewolf sprouting bat wings because they actually start affecting each other the way they bite each other, and they start becoming like hybrids.
I remember in Underworld, vampire and werewolf equals Smurf.
Yeah.
I remember that's kind of how that went. But yeah, I would say, I mean, it depends on the lore of the werewolf and how, especially if they're immortal, the regeneration skill would be super more. But if they can die,
I would think if it was science based, if you did like if it was like some type of scientific like infection or something, I would imagine that a bite from another creature could potentially cause a change.
Yeah.
But if it's curse related, I would imagine that the curse would protect you from any other type.
Right. It would just be like getting shot or any other normal death.
So if you're a werewolf by curse, I don't think any type of vampire or zombie bite would hurt you. just because the curse would protect you.
All right, so now we will go through. I gotta hide this and see what the first thing is. Monster by Moonlight documentary. This is found on the Wolfman collector's box set, that with the DVD one, not the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray has like everything in one. This was an interesting documentary. It kind of covered more of the production of the Wolfman, and the Lon Chaney stuff and how it affected and like what they liked about it.
It also focused a lot on the Van Helsing movie.
That's another one.
Oh, you're talking about
yeah. This is that is another one on the same box set. But yeah, but that one we'll get to. We'll do that one as well. It's an okay documentary. It's definitely focused on the Universal films. It doesn't quite get outside of that. But other than that, I'd say it's worth watching.
I agree.
Next question.
All right, Kenneth Tabor.
Kenneth!
Woo!
Welcome.
Why do you think it's when the moon shines at night, they turn? Because the moon is still in phase during the day, but just unable to be seen.
Well, they kind of related it. There's another documentary that I watched that actually I learned a lot from. But I think that the way that they deal with this is that people. My mom used to work in at UVA hospital in the ER, and they would always talk about when there's a full moon out, just weird people act funny and strange things would come in, and they would just be doing the weirdest things. But it always kind of happened on a full moon, and they joke about it, and then they kind of realize there's some truth to it. So there is a little bit to the lunacy coming from the moon. Where lunatic and like lunar, all that stuff, that it's just kind of an old thing that people would just kind of lose their fucking minds on the full moon. And so the werewolf just kind of snuck in and stole that idea, where they kind of merged the two, because there were a lot of the older lores don't really deal with the full moon. It's just at night. There's werewolves. If
I remember correctly, I think the Lon Chaney werewolf, didn't that start it? Because if you look at Werewolf London, his change didn't come originally from the moon, so much as it came from that from the drug or whatever.
Well, I believe that there are older tales that dealt with the moon. I think that might have been one of the first movies to deal with it, right. But I think that it had been part of a don't want to say religion, but just right. Urban legends. It had been attached to the moon for centuries before in books and novelizations and stuff like that. But I want to say that is the first one to relate it to the moon. Well, no, because it was the Werewolf of London. It was moon related as well. There was
right.
The flower that they had to get to was only grown in the
I think
in moonlight.
I think the moon was always the case, but I think it was the Lon Chaney movies where the moon had to be full. Because I think before it was just the moon had an effect on them regardless of what phase it was in, if I remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the movie that well. But yeah, I definitely know that the full moon lunatic wolf thing has been around for a long time. So I guess that's basically the short answer. That a long answer. That wasn't shorted by any means. All right. So the next thing was the video game based on the 2010 movie by Namco. This was a phone app game. It's pretty much a side scroller. It was fine for what it was. You do things as the wolf. You do things. It's kind of retelling the movie with a couple extra stages. Like, he had another trek through the woods that he normally wouldn't have taken. It basically just followed the movie completely. It's fine. It was like a little phone app game. I wouldn't highly recommend it. It wasn't that great, but if you're just bored, why not? Next question.
Kenneth Tabor.
Kenneth!
The transformations vary. So what do you envision for your Wolfman's transformation?
Ooh, that is still in debate, because there's odes that I want to get done, and then there's also the new look at it. That's something that'll probably come down to deciding in the last month before production. It's like, okay, this is it. We're finally going with it, because I like so many different variations of it. I'm not entirely sure which one we're going to go with. But our Wolfman will be a Wolfman no snout, more looking at the famous monsters versus the werewolf stuff. All right, so the next Curse of the Wolfman, the novella. This was cool. It was most of the werewolf lore originates out of Scotland, and so this was an old tale about a guy who shows up at a pub. People start dying. They think he's the werewolf, but he's actually hunting a werewolf. That kind of a thing. It's definitely good if you get a chance to look it up. I think it's on Audible. Curse of the Wolfman as a drama, like with sound effects and music. That's how I took it in, and it was great. It was definitely worth looking at. Next question.
We have someone new.
Hello, new person.
New is Clayton Levi Berry.
Clayton,
Yay!
welcome to the show.
Okay, he's asking, will Darkstone be engaged in video-on-demand services such as Amazon or Vimeo to get its movies further distribution?
We are already on Amazon for quite a bit. We have some guests, my wife Mariah and Donnie's girlfriend Emily, who you might recognize as Lovecraft, and Emily would be, what would be a movie that's released that they would recognize you from, Emily?
Well,
That's already out.
none. I mean, wait, no, Skeleton Key.
Crying in the Rain.
Crying in the Rain.
Crying in the Rain. She was Meow Meow. This is Mariah.
She also does makeup.
Come on in. Oh yeah, she does. She's one of the bioducks. But you can see her crying in the rain in a bubble bath, and you can see Mariah in pretty much everything.
Oh yeah,
She doesn't have a choice. But yeah, no. So we were on Amazon Prime. You can check that out. I think almost all of my old films are on there. And then, random note, we were actually on Netflix before Netflix became popular. Just one, Skeleton Key 2 was on Netflix streaming before net streaming was really used. And then the second it became popular, they took us off because we weren't that popular.
Aww.
But no, Amazon Prime and then Plan 9 is definitely going to be on video on demand, I'm sure. But yeah, that's a definite. And then let's see here. Next review, Monster Quest, America's Wolfman. This was amazing documentary. The whole thing is on YouTube right now. And one of the things that I learned about the term lichen is it's actually based on Greek mythology. That there was a guy named Lycan who wronged Zeus by killing all the children in the town to piss him off, and Zeus cursed him to turn into a wolf, and that's where we got the term lichen and related it to werewolves. It came because that guy's name was Lycan. Never knew that. That was a really cool documentary for that purpose. So I definitely highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Also, I learned that in the last 100 years there is a place in Michigan that has every year for 100 years there has been a report of a werewolf sighting or killing or murder. Now, granted, it's a lot of people that just think it's there and therefore they put it in their mind. But yeah. So if you go too far from Detroit, you could get bit by a werewolf, or just stay in Detroit and get shot. You can kind of do either one. Next question.
Pick your poison, I suppose.
There you go.
Another from Clayton Levi Berry.
Welcome, Clayton.
Is there any plans for a full-feature Shadowhunter sequel?
There's okay. So that we shot one. We did film one years ago, but we shot it on DV, and by the time we were ready to get it pushed, all DV stopped. Everything went HD, and all the DV movies that hadn't been released yet couldn't really find a home. So we're trying to figure out what to do with it if we're gonna, because it's all shot and it's in the can. If we're gonna release it as a show or as 5-minute episodes for free, or try to release it on Amazon as a movie. It's kind of undecided. But I will hopefully be dealing with it in 2016, so I'll have a better answer to that. But yeah, so short answer, yes, it's in the can. We do have one. There's also 2 short films. one of which is traveling with Monique Dupree called Devil Speak, and the other one is called Shadowhunters Lost, which is available on Vimeo right now. Let's do another one.
All right. Well, you have another one from Clayton Levi Berry.
Welcome, Clayton.
Is there any plans for more Skeleton Key films after part 2 of the last movie?
Oh, Skeleton Key 3 Part 2?
Mm.
No. But I have learned that obviously that style of filmmaking that I've done has become somewhat popular, and also is kind of a really strong personal filmmaker voice of mine. So I am going to start a new franchise using the same style of Skeleton Key. Right now it's leaning towards a Christmas theme called Xmas. So I will be making movies like it, but probably not continuing the Skeleton Key franchise after Part 3, Part 2, which is technically 4, is released. All right, so the next thing is Werewolves on Wheels. Watch that today. It's not bad. It's a grindhouse movie, so it's got that slow pace. We actually made the mistake of starting it on YouTube, which was an edited version, so we didn't get the boobies or the blood.
Swearing.
Or the swearing, yeah, that was all cut out. So then we found another version of it to stream, and we were watching that. One of the side notes we found out is that Rob Zombie quotes the movie in one of his songs, so he was a big fan, or a fan, maybe not big, I don't know. But no, it's fun. Once again, the movie Wolfman related to the devil. This was a biker gang that pissed off a bunch of Satan worshippers, so they cursed them. And then a girl bit another guy like a vampire with just like 2 fangs, and he became a wolfman. And then they just wreaking havoc. But they do have a wolfman driving a motorcycle. They save it for the end, but it does actually happen.
Just like a grindhouse film, the money shot is at the end.
Yeah, basically. But no, it's worth watching. If you can find it not on YouTube, so you can see the full version, obviously you'll just get more out of it.
To be fair, if you get bored easy, if grindhouse pictures aren't for you, then probably not. But
yeah, it's a very slow film. It doesn't really happen until the end. Mariah loved it.
it's riding around.
Slow films.
No, I'm talking about that movie.
It's riding around, like talking and fighting, and then a bit of werewolf stuff, and then a bunch of riding around, talking and riding, and then a little bit of werewolf stuff, and
That's
then
some good lines, though.
Yeah, there was some good. There was some.
Yeah,
good
it
lines.
was what was it? I've got 2 things, balls,
Yeah,
something like that. It was a great line, and I've
I got
completely
2 things going for me.
balls.
Yeah, so yeah. So it was pretty solid. But yeah, I'd recommend it if you got some time to kill and want to take like something that's not hosted by Elvira that should be.
If you love grindhouse flicks, you'll actually like this one. It's definitely a definitive grindhouse flick. It really is.
And the acting, she doesn't know it. She's kind of like the other cats where they come in and out.
Yeah.
All right.
The rare
So, no question.
Kenneth Tabor has a comment.
Kenneth.
He says, loving it. Glasses and stashes.
Oh, okay,
So
there you go.
Well done, everyone.
They like that? I'll tell you another one.
Yeah, right?
All right, so since we have a group here, what is your favorite Wolfman movie? And not werewolf, but Wolfman movie. Alyssa.
I have to go with Michael Landon.
The
Teenage
Teenage
Werewolf.
Werewolf.
Yeah, because it was kind of, I saw that when I was a kid, and to kind of put me on the spot, this is the first one I thought of.
Okay.
And
Emily,
yeah.
favorite Wolfman movie. Not werewolf, but Wolfman, as in no snout.
What was that gay?
Oh, the
From Chillerama?
Chillerama.
Oh,
Yeah.
The bears?
Oh, that was a good one.
But that was the whole movie. That was just a segment in the movie.
Well, I like the segment of the gay.
Of the gay.
segment of the gay.
Chillerama is a good movie if you ever get a chance. But one of the sections is the little skinny boys turn into big bears that happen to be wolves. That it's a 50s Grease musical. It's a musical, yeah.
And it's kind of like the whole werewolf thing is like an obvious metaphor for being gay. Like they don't hide it. They're just like,
No.
hey, you're a werewolf.
It's
and
very
gay.
loud.
Like it's
But it's good. It's fun. Mariah, favorite werewolf movie? Wolfman movie.
God, I like that one a lot.
Emily said.
That's right.
I mean, I'd have to probably say the
Twilight?
Wolfman. No,
Oh.
the original.
Lon Chaney.
Yeah, Lon Chaney.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I love werewolf. I like werewolf better than wolf.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I do too.
So it's hard. 'Cause
They are
I have
different.
I have a ton of werewolf movies that I love, but as far as Wolfman goes, there's not many. But I respect the original. I like the original and Lon Chaney.
All right, Donnie.
That's a tough one because there aren't that like the Wolfman movie kind of went away for the werewolf movie, so there isn't that many to choose from. I'd have to go with Lon Chaney because it's a classic. Although I did like the 2010 remake. I know a lot of people didn't like it.
Kenneth was a big fan.
I actually loved the 2010 remake. I thought it got a lot right. I thought the muted colors made it almost seem like a black and white film. Danny Elfman's score was fantastic, and that didn't actually sound like Danny Elfman. In fact, that kind of score was what I would have expected. If you put a score like that and put it with the original Wolfman, it would have fit perfectly. I thought it was well done, well acted. It's almost my favorite, but the Lon Chaney one being the classic is still my ultimate favorite, and that's the one I grew up with, and I just love that one to death. So yeah, that's had to be it.
I'd say for me, Curse of the Werewolf, Oliver Reed.
that's a
So
good
far,
one, too.
out of all the ones I've been watching as of late, that has been my favorite one, just for the colors and the acting and the stylized of it, and the whole another take on werewolves. Because you were born on Christmas out of wedlock, you became a werewolf. Like
It's an interesting way to introduce that.
yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that. Next question.
Next question is Kenneth Tabor.
Kenneth.
Who is this guy? I'm kidding. I know.
Did you get to check out Neon Joe, Werewolf Hunter?
Not yet, but I will. Before I move on to the next monster, I will check out a few episodes of that. I've heard good things. I've heard it's very funny, and I'm on the monster, so I might as well.
Yeah, he says it's good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So the Van Helsing mini doc, which kind of talked a little bit about the Lon Chaney Wolfman, but it was really more about the creation. It was kind of like an extra feature for Van Helsing, so I'm not entirely sure why I was on that Lon Chaney documentary box collector's edition thing. But I mean, it was okay. They just talked about the transformation, how they went a different way of it, the wolf coming in out of the body, as in the company of wolves, tearing the skin off, which I actually liked in the film. But yeah, it was short, to the point, not great, not terrible, just a little informative piece. Donnie, what'd you think?
Of that doc?
Yeah.
Not a big fan of Van Helsing, the movie. So I mean, it was what it was. The fact that they were focusing so much on that, I didn't really care about so much. I thought it was interesting how the actor approached and how they used his ballet background to kind of help him work out
With the
character,
movement.
yeah, with the movements and everything. And I think the tearing off of the skin is actually a neat concept. In fact, Emily and I were talking about how our favorite use of that was actually a trick or treat in the werewolf sequence. When the girls all tear their skin off,
Right.
I think that's a really great version of that sequence, and probably my favorite out of all of them. But
I think Hemlock Grove did something similar too.
Yeah, and it's a neat idea. It definitely is a neat idea. But the doc was okay for what it was. It's since it focused mostly on the Van Helsing stuff.
Yeah, it was more of an extra feature than I would say a documentary.
Yeah, but I mean, it touched enough upon the Universal stuff and basically what as a base for where they approached everything. So I mean that part was good.
Elisa.
Kenneth Tabor just asked the same question that you did. What are our favorite Wolfman movies?
Oh, okay. Well, we got that.
Or Wolfman scene.
On the same
Yeah. So we'll go to the next question.
internet site. I don't know what.
Is Kenneth Tabor big fan of Wolfman 2010, especially the scene where he is fascinated by the blind opera singer.
No, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What did you like about that so much, Kenneth? I mean, it's kind of cool, but just curious. What is your take on that?
Yeah, he's been rooting for that movie since we started this.
Yeah.
I think it's a classic flick. Like I'm really sad that didn't kickstart a new Universal, because that would have been a great.
Going the dark way.
Yeah,
versus
that would have been a great.
Dracula is a superhero.
Because everybody's good at Hugo Weaving is probably one of my favorite aspects of that film. I'm trying to remember.
They had some great makeup, like the use of the blend, I guess, of CG and actual practical
That's-
makeup. The hair was a little like off on a lot of it, but they actually did the prosthetic makeup on him. Like I have a really great magazine going into detail about the makeup that they did for that.
That's one of the disappointments that I had, is that originally they were going to go more of the traditional route, and then at the last minute they had a bunch of effects. I think Greg Nicotero was on it, and they had a bunch of effects that they were going to do practical for the transformations, and then at the last minute they ended up going with CG for most of it. The CG didn't look bad. I've definitely
It gave
seen
it
worse.
speed, which was good.
Sure. I'm trying to remember the scene with the opera singer though. I don't remember that part.
I'm trying to think of it too. Like I don't remember it.
I don't remember the fascination with the.
I wonder if there's an extended or director's cut.
There is a director's cut because
maybe that's what I missed.
But I don't. I have the director's cut on Blu-ray. And I don't remember that.
Do you remember the blind opera singer?
Because the director's cut, one of the main differences is that she actually goes to England or goes to London to talk to.
I didn't know she was blind. No. Yeah. She at the end of the movie, she's the one on the ground and they're running around her, or with the father is fighting the. Wasn't there a girl there?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember a blind opera singer.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't know. I might be a little lost on that one.
Because the only thing I know.
I remember there was the actress who comes to see him, the love interest, but she wasn't blind.
No, she comes. Yeah, because originally she just sent a letter, but in the director's cut, she actually goes to see him first, and he's like, "No, I can't." And then, in fact, there's actually the director's cut actually has a plot. There's a discrepancy in the plot because of the fact that she visits him in the director's cut. When he says later to her that he received her note, it doesn't make sense because she actually visited him. Where in the theatrical cut, she only sent him a note, and because they didn't have an alternate shot of that, they had to leave it in, and so there's an actual discrepancy in the director's cut because of that. But I don't remember anything about an opera singer. I'm trying to.
All right, Alyssa.
I was trying to find it. Okay, let me go back.
So I think we're caught up on.
Just about. Okay,
yeah.
We have a question from Clayton Levi Berry.
Hello, Clayton.
Hello, Clayton. Oh, didn't know this was a Wolfman-centric live video. Is there going to be more than one wolf in the movie? Any she-wolves?
I can't say specifically yet, but I'm going to say yes. But you didn't hear that.
It's not a wolf man. It's a wolf woman.
Well, it's man as in like Captain Kirk man.
Oh.
So the last two things I did on this is I got through 8 things, which is I look at the top 3 video searches of Bing and Google, and I watch those mainly to see what fans are doing and music. So there's a lot of music videos and fan films. There was some interesting animated stuff. All basic and plain stuff, but I skip all the stuff that's movie related, like trailers and movies, and just. Oh, is this the scene?
I was trying to find it, but it says the full movie for free. I can't seem to take the sound off it.
Well, Kenneth, I'll go back and I'll look at that.
Yeah, me too, because now I'm curious.
But yeah, so they're always okay. Nothing. There was an old called "I'm the Wolfman" by The Round. Some guy the Round something. I suggest you guys check that out on YouTube. I think if you just put "I'm the Wolfman" and the word "round," you'll find it. It's a really interesting video where the guy's singing, but it's kind of like he's facing away from the audience. So it's like he wasn't even supposed to be there. He just kind of snuck in and sang this song while everybody's dancing in the 60s or 50s maybe. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's an interesting song. I'm gonna look at the rights of the song because I might do something with it. But yeah, that's basically everything that was on my list. When we do the next show, I will be finishing the rest of my list, as in the 9th place. I think there are 21 things on this one, so I'll be doing 9 through 21 and talking about those in the last Wolfman show. And then we're moving on to the next monster, which I'm thinking is going to be the Mummy. I think I'm going to do Mummy Man next.
Mummy came in my house.
Oh, yes. Where are the monsters? So
We need to discuss gravy nuggets.
So
gravy nuggets. In the comments, I am to eat on the last show a thing of gravy nuggets. There is a gravy and there is a nugget. Right now, we're leaning towards chicken McNuggets with a beef gravy, but this has to be decided by you. So in the comments to this video, we need to decide on the 2 things that I'm going to be eating. Be nice. I remember there was talk of dates, which was Stephen Haar, who's not on this show, but I'm sure he'll be chiming in before the next one.
Tofu.
Tofu has been
It's
talking.
Tofu. Vote
Be
for tofu.
nice.
I will make it. It'll be delicious.
So what kind of gravy? Turkey gravy, beef gravy, chicken gravy?
Soy gravy.
Soy gravy. And what kind of nugget? So make this combo, and whatever comment is liked
It's gonna be
the
so good.
most,
The Morningstar Farm nugget.
I'm going to eat on the next show. But we needed to make that decision before, so I think the 2 watching right now is Kenneth and Clayton. Comment away and like the one that you want the most, and if other people like the one.
They're just voting for tofu.
No, they're not. I see the mustache.
I think it is in the director's cut.
Oh.
That's what Kenneth says.
So
Yeah,
it's,
okay, I haven't seen the
the
director's
London
cut.
chase scene is longer. The Wolfman walks into a costume party and opera performance, and is mistaken as a costume patron. He attacks one of the patrons and is chased off by people. So.
Oh.
Well, Kenneth does comment about that.
The
Are
London
we ready
chase
for
scene
that?
is
Yeah.
longer in the director's cut.
Okay. Kenneth says he wasn't feral at all. He was curious and fascinated
Yeah.
by her voice. Music soothing the savage soul. And he didn't attack her, almost like a curious dog. And then he says, yes, it was a
Oh, I'll check
I'm
that
gonna have to
out.
watch it again because I don't remember that part at all.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It sounds good though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out again.
All right. Any more questions?
We do. Clayton Levi Berry. Will you dress up as a wolf, mummy, or vampire while you eat the gravy nuggets?
No.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I don't.
should.
No.
Or at least
no,
little
no.
fuzzy ears. It would be so cute.
Oh, it could be a little nose.
No. See, what are you, Clayton? What have you done?
Oh.
What have you done,
Hair?
Clayton?
On your, give you chops.
No.
mutton chops.
There's no need. There's no
You just
need.
not shave.
Yeah, I do that anyway. But I will be eating the nuggets, so be nice. And we'll post when the last show is going to be, so everybody's got plenty of time. But I think it's going to take at least 3 weeks to get through the last of the stuff because there's quite a few things. And then there'll be a little bit more often every week as we start the next monster up until the big ending. Do we have any more?
That is it as of 1 minute ago.
All right, well, great. Any other questions that come in after that we haven't caught them this time, we'll catch them on the next show. Thank you guys for watching, especially Kenneth and Clayton for chiming in and doing the back and forth with me so much. First show of 2016. There's probably going to be like 20 of them by the time the year is done. So keep up with us, and we'll keep posting them. But thanks, guys. Da 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 da.